What do you call the land area around a pond? Usually shore and beach are used when talking about a large body of water. But what if we talk about a pond? Is the area around it still called a beach/shore?
In English, if I were in a pond and want to get out of the pond, then I may say, after swimming, I will get on dry land. I put dry in brackets because that is optional. It is possible to use shoreline or shore to describe the edge of a pond. Sometimes, beach would be used to describe a small reservoir's land boundary or an ocean's land boundary.
Bank. The land alongside or sloping down to a river or lake. Oxford Living Dictionary. From farming freshwater prawns, Air Manual. The banks of the pond is sometimes referred to as embankments or banks. Also, in geography, the word bank generally refers to the land alongside a body of water. Different structures are referred to as banks in different fields of geography. The shoreline of ponds, swamps, estuaries, reservoirs, or lakes are also of interest in limnology and are sometimes referred to as banks. Wikipedia.
I assume you are talking about a pond, which is a natural part of the landscape, not an artificial pond, e.g. garden pond. In Britain, I would think the most likely used name for the land area adjacent to such a natural pond to be the bank, the same as a riverbank. I'm very familiar with the Norfolk Broads. They are artificial lakes, which were created from peat diggings in the medieval period, admittedly a bit larger than anything which in Britain might be called a pond. Connected by a network of rivers, they are today an important holiday area for boating, sailing, wildlife study, etc. I would refer to the edge of one of the Broads as the bank, though the banks are substantially inaccessible due to reed growth. However, where the reeds are cleared, mooring states have been created. People talk about mooring their boat at the river bank.
If you want to get technical, the land area around the pond is the literal noun or the literal adjective zone. Whereas dictionaries define literal in terms of a lake or sea. Collins. Adjective 1. Of or relating to the shore of a sea, lake, or ocean 2. Biology inhabiting the shore of a sea or lake or the shallow waters near the shore. Literal fauna. Noun 3. A coastal or shore region. Merriam-Webster. Literal adjective, entry 1 of 2 of, relating to, or situated or growing on or near a shore especially of the sea / literal waters. Literal noun, entry 2 of 2, a coastal region especially, the shore zone between high tide and low tide points. However, the usage of literal in referring to ponds seems to be standard in the pond and bioaquatic fields. Emphasis mine in examples below. From the University of California Museum of Paleontology. The topmost zone near the shore of a lake or pond is the littoral zone. This zone is the warmest since it is shallow and can absorb more of the sun's heat. It sustains a fairly diverse community, which can include several species of algae, like diatoms, rooted and floating aquatic plants, grazing snails, clams, insects, crustaceans, fishes, and amphibians. In the case of the insects, such as dragonflies and midges, only the egg and larvae stages are found in this zone. The vegetation and animals living in the littoral zone are food for other creatures such as turtles, snakes, and ducks. From ponds.org. Littoral zones are areas that are created on the edge of ponds that are to serve as a growth area for aquatic plants. From Casco Marine, a manufacturer of fountains, aerators, and other pond accessories. The littoral zone is the shore area of the lake or pond. The littoral zone consists of the area from the dry line sloping to the open water and can be very narrow or very wide. Typically oligotrophic or young ponds have narrow littoral zones due to their steep sides, and eutrophic or old ponds have wide littoral zones due to their gently sloping shoreline and sides. The littoral zone is shallow and gets a lot of nutrients from runoff and non-point source pollution. Therefore, it typically has an abundance of aquatic plant and algae growth. Some other common inhabitants of the littoral zone are cattails, reeds, crawfish, snails, insects, zooplankton, and small fish.
Freshwater isn't always near the water.